he's taken to Thai jail, essentially. He agrees to extradition, and then a week after his arrest, he's found dead in his jail cell.
Alleged suicide.
Right, yeah. So, of course, U.S. law enforcement, Thai law enforcement say that he committed suicide. He hung himself.
A lot of guys hanging themselves in prison these days.
His mother, his defense attorney, of course, say that he was killed.
What? Now, there's a question. What are they getting at? Are they getting at, like, okay, he was Alpha O2, but there's someone behind this whole operation or something? There's governments behind it. There's boogeymen, whatever?
I don't think anybody who would claim that Caz was murdered knows who murdered him or has even like a strong theory. But yeah, the idea is that what if like maybe Thai cops were on the take to protect him. Once he got caught, they killed him to keep him quiet. Maybe he did have a local partner. Maybe he was tied up with the mafia. I mean, I did hear from one of his friends that he was like cashing out Bitcoins at one point through the Russian mafia in Bangkok. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But like he had like kind of liquidity problem. Like he had more cryptocurrency than he could deal with. Obviously, that's what got him caught eventually, that he was cashing out through exchanges too. So, and they ultimately traced like more than a dozen of his exchange accounts in his name and his wife's. But yeah, maybe he had like a local laundering partner too, or something like that. And that person had him killed to keep him quiet. Who knows? I also don't know if he was, I'm not claiming, I couldn't figure it out. I went as far as like spending hours and hours with all of the Thai officials, the detectives and the agents and the people in this agency who like masterminded the operation to get him. I even talked to the jailers on duty, and yet I still don't know the answer to this question.
They have security footage?
They do, but it's missing about half an hour.
Oh, yeah, very convenient.
This is the thing, and of course, his defense attorney says the same thing. Like, you're kidding me. Like this, you've got, and I've watched and showed his defense attorney a video of the last minutes of his life where the Thais shared with me. I mean, I didn't even know that there was going to be video in his cell, but they brought me down to the jail. Like when I was interviewing the agents in this DEA equivalent office in Bangkok, the jail is on the first floor. They brought me down to the first floor. I met the jailers. They were like, "Yep, he was right here." Like, and I can see the video, the cameras. And so I asked them to share the video, and they did. They shared a coroner's report as well. And yet the video shows him, kind of sitting in his cell. Then you see him go off screen. By the way, his cell, the way that this happened was that his cell has a small internal wall with a bathroom behind it. It's like a 3-foot high partial wall with a little swinging door. And he goes behind that door, and you can actually see him just barely sort of messing with the towel somehow, which was what was used or what suffocated him. And then that clip ends, and the next clip is you see Thai police and then Jen Sanchez, who we mentioned, who was like the
on site looking at his body.
Yeah, running in like in a panic, seemingly like looking over this internal wall at his dead body, which has been choked out by a towel fashioned into a noose. And I truly, I appreciate that you're a skeptic. I'm an agnostic on this. I did my best to like figure this out, and I do not know what happens. And his defense attorney also was like, well, taking a step back, even like Jen Sanchez, the DEA agent who found his dead body, it was like, I know exactly how he did it. He tied his towel into a noose, sort of got the end of it wedged into the hinge of this 3-foot high internal door, and then leaned forward to cut off his air supply. The defense attorney is like, that's impossible. Nobody can can suffocate that way. His body is not even suspended. This is a noose that's 3 feet off the ground. Then I actually like did a lot of really gross, grisly research into how, these kind of in many cases, like the research is based on like accidental deaths from autoerotic asphyxiation. And it very often happens with bodies that are not fully suspended. I don't want to get into like too much about how to kill yourself, but it just seems dangerous to talk about that. But suffice to say that I was convinced by like talking to a lot of doctors even about this, that or reading the literature and like that it is possible to kill yourself this way.
The fact that he was going in there and it appears based on the tape that he was playing with the towel, and we have that on video, makes this sound a little less suspicious and like he legitimately did. But I mean, who do I gotta fuck to make sure that when someone kills themselves in prison, that doesn't happen to be the 15 minutes where the camera's not working?
I know. And it's so, but it's like Thailand is not a country where police are held accountable, so I can kind of imagine, and this is what I was told essentially, that the video shows Caz like messing with the towel, like going into the back of his cell where he's hidden. And then the next action is people running in to find his body. And between those two moments, there's about half an hour where nothing happens. And the Thais say that they just deleted that because it shows nothing. So, I mean, I think Americans hopefully would know better than to delete the evidence that like
apparently not
vindicates. Well, yeah, exactly. But that's a different story.
It's a different story.
Very different story. So, I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but I don't want to like attribute to Malice what might have been like ridiculous incompetence.
Yeah, it could be open-ended. Sure.
Yeah. And that's where I've left it myself.
But that ended the case because they had Alpha 02. Like what happened? Because he did have other people on the site similarly to Silk Road who at least like reported to him, right?
They have Alpha 02. They took down Alpha Bay. And at this point they had, as I said, like taken over the second biggest dark web market.
So they
ever.
sent everyone there, the Danish
and
one.
just as they planned, like it worked like beautifully for law enforcement anyway, that thousands and thousands of refugees from Alpha Bay flooded into Hansa, the second biggest dark web market, not knowing what had happened. It was all kept secret. I mean, it was a full, I think like days before even it was clear that Alpha Bay had been taken down by law enforcement. People thought it might be an exit scam. People thought it might just be downtime, that happens with websites on the dark web in particular.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.